let's talk about the fun bus because
Mm.
I remember. I don't know how it all came about, but there was me, you, Chico, and Anthony Revel that were
Yeah,
going out in this. What I was told was this amazing motocross race bus. I guess it
mm.
was sold to me as, and
Yeah,
I can't remember. We met up somewhere, didn't we? Steve Roach was meeting us with it. Uh,
yeah.
I can't remember driving somewhere down south somewhere to. I don't even know where I left me van or whatever, but we
Mm.
got this bus, and I feel like we had to. There was something wrong with it, and we had to drive to a garage before. But I remember sitting in the passenger seat. It had like a bench seat, didn't it? A massive, big, flat glass window, and I was
Mm.
thinking, why can I see the road? There was a big hole for your feet sat in the passenger seat, wasn't there? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
it's pretty bad. Yeah, it was not nice, was it? Really, to be fair. I mean, I think Rebs had a lot for that because I think he wasn't he riding for the sports division team at the time that Roach
Is that what it was
was sorting
called?
out. So I think it was mainly Rebs' fault. I think, to be fair.
We were playing revs.
Yeah, massively. He was driving as well.
Yeah, because he had a HGV license or whatever, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was
And
obviously used to driving in Europe for the BMX and stuff. So yeah, he got elected the driver, didn't he?
yeah, and anyway, we got over to. I guess we used to go on the ferry then, did we? Did we go on the ferry? I think.
I think so. Yeah, I honestly can't remember like how we got to Leger, but we did get there.
I don't know how we got there, but we did.
No, we got there. Yeah.
And then I remember like, oh, well, I guess on the drive out, Chico got
Mm.
like the 1999 version of COVID, didn't he? Do you remember how ill he was?
Yeah, he was pretty sick, wasn't he?
And he was just at like there was a bed above the driver's seat, I think, and he was just dying up there. Uh,
Yeah.
I think Red Bull was pretty new, was it back then? And we had
I
like,
suppose. Yeah, I suppose it was. Yeah, we were all seeing how many we could drink. I think, weren't we? Since we had a few crates in the van, everyone had to shake and the shits. I think it was like it was
we had
pretty
no
bad.
idea. Did we? I remember
No,
literally just drinking Red Bull cans one after the other all the way there, and just like you said,
yeah,
fluttering.
shaking. Yeah, for hours.
And then, and then I don't know what town we were in, but we started descending down some pretty steep road
Mm,
with a set of
yeah.
lights at the bottom, and I was kind of, we were go. I think that thing did about 50 mile an hour, didn't it? So I'd lost the will to live by
Mm,
the time we got to this point. I
mm,
think he was sat in the middle. I was next to the window, and Rebs was driving the
yeah.
big steering wheel like this. And I just
Yeah.
remember like looking up and thinking, we're going pretty fast here down this hill. And
Mm.
so I looked over at you, and you were like, and I
Uh,
might have made this up, but I'm pretty sure you mouthed no.
yeah,
It's
and
slow mo.
it took about 6 minutes for no to come out of my face. I think it was that bad. Like I could smell the brakes when we were coming down. I thought I don't smell very good. Like that stinks. Like I thought it was just some car in front or something. Like it's just stinking. Like but yeah, we got all you could see was like it was almost like a tunnel vision of these buildings, wasn't it? And then some traffic lights and cars going across now and again. And I was in my head, I was thinking, we're gonna die. Anyway, somehow, like Revs is like pumping the brake thing. I've got my feet, I think, like on the front window. Yeah, and you're just pissing yourself because you can't comprehend what's actually going to happen. And yeah, somehow we just go straight across this crossroads on a red light, wasn't it? With
Yeah,
and missed everything.
unreal, mate. All I remember was Rebs looking forward with his eyes open and his tongue out the side of it. You know, when you concentrate on a computer game and you're going,
Yeah, yeah, that was one of the closest near death moments I think I've ever had.
same. But we somehow survived it. And then I think obviously we had to pull over and have a Mackey's because to sort
Yeah,
ourselves. And didn't
yeah.
we went into the Mackey's? Didn't someone break in and rob your bag or something?
Um,
Your
I don't
back.
know if that was there. Was that then? They might have nicked it. Yeah, I think the window was ajar, as it were, at the side, and someone, yeah, put their hand in and thieved my bag. But luckily, it only had all my clothes in. So, yeah,
What a
I think
trip!
that wasn't great. But then that wasn't the end of it, though, was it?
Oh,
Because
what,
then we
what,
got to Slovenia, didn't we?
yeah. And
And that was all going real well. Like everyone liked the track and was having a good time.
then me and you
And
were doing the two slalom specialists, Revs and Chico. They
yeah,
didn't they didn't qualify.
no,
We did because
yeah,
we were doing both.
yeah.
Um, when we'd made it through qualifying. It was qualifying like in the morning or the day before or something like that for Duel.
I think it was the day before, wasn't it?
So me and you qualified, and then obviously then we did downhill practice on the Saturday, and then
Mm,
we were racing in the evening, weren't we?
yeah, yeah,
So we all, you know, packed all our bikes in the back of the motocross pro race truck.
yeah.
Me and you went up for the finals. It didn't go very well for me, or you, I don't think. Didn't you have a massive crash and split your head open or something?
Yeah, when I slipped the pedal for the last big double and went over the bars, and I got to the bottom and didn't think anything of it. And Petey goes, "Oh, you've cut your head." And then as soon as he said that, all this blood ran down my forehead and into my eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had bleached blonde hair at the time, so I was obviously dyeing my hair and stuff as you do. Obviously not you, but
I did.
but yeah, and that was pink. My head was pink. They bandaged my head up. My hair was pink, sticking up like, and they put me in this Renault. I think it's like a Renault van, but it had like clear sides, like an ambulance, and strapped this wheelchair that I was sat in that. So literally, I'm going out sitting in this middle of this ambulance so everyone can see in the sides, and I'm just looking out with this pink hair and they put the sirens on. It's like, fuck, it's like, yeah, it's just another, well, stuff like that had to happen after that whole traffic light incident.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I didn't go much better for me. I think I got a good start in the second round or whatever, and then
Mm.
just got absolutely taken out by Karima Moore in the first corner.
Yeah, that was when the old T-bone was essential, wasn't it? Really, I think in racing.
Apparently.
But yeah, I think just before the finals, I think Ed Mosley come and broke me out of hospital. I had my head stitched. Yeah, I had my head stitched up, and I was just sitting there waiting for him to sort all the paperwork out. And Ed, I think he ran in, got me, pushed us out, and we jumped in the van and drove off quickly. But then come back for the finals and watch the finals.
And then
Uh,
after the finals, obviously we were sleeping in the van, weren't we? So we had like bunk beds in there or something. Were they
yeah, yeah,
brown bunk beds or something?
yeah. It was horrible. I try not to remember that. That's just yeah.
And then
But
and then and so yeah, we can't even talk about some of the other funny stories that went on that
no.
Revs and little mate and stuff. But and the mustache and that. But but I mean, they were cracking times, weren't they? It was a good crack, wasn't it?
Yeah, all I can say is thank God there wasn't any cameras or
Yeah.
like
So
phones with cameras about nowadays. Hey, not a good idea.
and then and then obviously later on that night we went back to our uh, accommodation stroke race van and
Mm,
realised that our bikes were gone. They'd
yeah.
broken into the back door while we were doing the finals. Um,
Mm,
you had a super trick, like painted up spooky hardtail, didn't you?
yeah,
And
spooky metalhead. Yeah, well, had the American flag one side and English flag the other, airbrushed on.
that was
It
sick.
was sick. Yeah, it was a sick bit of kit. But yeah, that was not there anymore, was it?
But the bikes that were closest to the door, which our
Mm.
bikes were behind them, which was
Yeah,
Revs's Saracens. They
yeah,
were still in the van, weren't they?
they were. Yeah, they'd taken those out, nicked the better ones, obviously, and put the Saracens back, which I still find very, very amusing today. But yeah, it was, oh, it was another just a funny chapter in the whole trip, really, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
And then just as the trip progressed. So I remember that night in Maribor. I don't know if you came out because of your head,
Mm,
but you probably did.
mm,
We ended up in town as usual on the Slovenian beers and vodkas,
mm,
and I found myself on the top of a giant wheelie bin, uh,
mm.
doing about 30 miles an hour down the road while Petey and Warner were pushing me. Then it hit some concrete bollards. Obviously, I flew off it, landed, and rolled my ankle off. And so we, that, I was so excited to go and race at Nevigal because we'd done well there the year before, and I love the track. I
Yeah,
think I had about 15 bandages on my ankle trying to hold it together, and I managed one run, and I was in that much pain I had to go home. So
yeah. I'm not sure whether I went out, like I say, because of my head and stuff, but I think I did venture out for a bit, but I must have gone back early. So I can't quite remember you doing that, but I can remember you turning up and trying to ride with this fat ankle. But yeah,
uh,
oh, amazing.
funny stuff, like, but yeah, it was good times, and I'm stoked we got to do all that. It was brilliant. Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.